Oh, yeah.
Classic.
The Monsters. Have you seen the Monsters trailer?
I did see it, and I don't even understand. That's it. Period. Full stop.
I know the guy playing Grandpa.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he is in your age bracket, so that makes sense.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
We're the guys that talk about the movies that are 22 years oldy, baby.
I mean, listen, age is just a number to us, so any age is good.
Numbers are just numbers to us.
That's right. Thank you. Yep. Thanks for clearing that up.
This week, Tony got to pick us a movie, and he picked a doozy.
I felt like we were getting too comfortable, Dan. I felt like we'd rolled into this kind of like, autopilot mode where we didn't really hate anything. We didn't love it, but we were just kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. There's some things we don't like, some things we do like. So I was like, you know what? We need to go all the way and really hate something again because I missed it.
We needed to find something with structural breaking points that are just so huge. So huge. They're not just little plot points. They're like these huge chasms. Of production, of acting, of dialogue, of everything.
Dialogue.
And you found one, Tony, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows that this is a bad movie. We, of course, are doing Battlefield Earth, seminal classic. Year 2000? Was it right on the money of 2000?
Right on the money of 2000.
Turn of the century magic, we would say.
Y2K, why don't we make more movies? Can't we make more movies like this?
Dan, and I've got some things to talk about with the director of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I listened to a couple of podcasts with him on it, talking about the making and his feelings, and it's surprised me. I'll tell you that.
The dude that directed it was a second or third unit director on the original Star Wars.
On A New Hope. He also did work on Alien. He did episode 1 as well, Phantom Menace. He was the B unit director. Like, he's done some shit. So there's no excuse. He has been on a movie set. So therefore, no excuse of what happened in this movie.
Just turn the camera this way. Let's shoot it.
Oh, God.
There are more Dutch angles in this movie than I've never seen as many Dutch angles in a movie.
Maybe in the history of cinema put together, this movie still beats it. I'm pretty sure.
But more importantly, he probably walked up to the camera operator and he's like, just lock it off on 15 degrees off.
Give me a solid 20 and we'll just move it just like that. I don't even care.
Next setup, you want to go back to just hold that one. Stay there for no reason. No reason.
So let's talk about this because this is something that he brings up, and he doesn't understand why he gets so much flack for it.
Because there's no artistry in what you're doing, dude.
Exactly. I mean, yes, he's like, other movies use it all the time. I don't understand why people came after us. And I was like, they use it artistically. They don't just use it as the base for their movie for no reason whatsoever.
So these interviews like a full-throated defense of Battlefield Earth?
He staunchly defends the film. Not only that, but you know how like when people... He basically talks about how Roger Ebert sent him an email years later because Roger Ebert obviously destroyed the movie when it came out because it's terrible.
One star, I believe.
Yeah, he claims that years later Roger Ebert emailed him and was like, you know what, it wasn't as bad as I thought. There's some interesting things, and he's like, I can't find the email anymore, but it definitely was sent. And I was like, that's not how emails even work, you idiot.
Well, I mean, you can lose an email. That's true.
If he would have deleted it, maybe, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think he would. If somebody with the stature of Roger Ebert came to you about the worst movie ever produced and was like, "It's not that bad," not only do you keep the email, you redistribute that email to everybody in your life, and was like, "See, I'm vindicated." You don't just sit on it. It doesn't exist. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what you
I'm
say.
not buying Roger Ebert came
No,
around because
no
Roger
way.
Ebert had very particular opinions, and I don't think those opinions ever changed during his life.
Nor should they.
So Battlefield Earth 2000, hour and 57 minutes, the saga of the year 3000.
I think just my favorite part is that it's called a saga. Like as if there are many sagas, and this is just the one.
Well, this is based on the L. Ron Hubbard book from, I believe, 82 or 84.
Yeah, it was 80-something.
82 or 4. 1,000+ pages book.
Which I did not know that until I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to buy it.
This is only half of the book.
Which is interesting because I don't know what happens. I don't understand what the next step is, Dan. It feels pretty wrapped up.
Well, they sort of set it up at the end that there's more of these cyclos out there in the universe and they're going to have to deal with them. Yes.
Right, but what they said is like, instead of dealing with them, we're just going to serve you up on a platter. That feels like pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like you've got your defense already locked and loaded.
Yeah. We can argue about that later.
I don't think we need to.
So I was like, you thought to read the book. I, of course, thought to read the synopsis of the book.
Well, that's smarter. Yeah.
Pretty much the same as the movie.
But I will say that, 20 years earlier, it might have made a little bit more sense. Maybe like people. No. I don't remember those days because I was 0 to 1 years old, give or take. So I don't know if people were more forgiving of wild ideas that don't make any sense.
Oh, well, I guess my point, what I'm trying to say is that by 1984, Alien had come out.
Yeah.
Star Wars had come out by like a long time.
That's actually a good point.
The landscape of a science fiction story and movie existed in a certain place. And it did not exist in the place of aliens that look like humans come from outer space looking for our gold.
Well, I don't think that they look like us. I think that's one of the things that's different. No, in the movie they do, Dan. No, hold on.
Okay.
No, they have bigger heads than us, Dan. They don't look anything like us. No, I believe from what
they're more alien in the book.
They're more alien in the book. And one of the points of contention that the director had with the money people is that he wanted to cover Travolta up more. He wanted Travolta to look more like the alien. They were like, no, you have John Travolta. You need to see his face.
Yes, I've got to look something up really quick.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm looking up the Ferengi. Do you know who the Ferengi are?
No. Do I?
They are one of the alien races from Star Trek.
Oh, okay. Then, no.
You don't know. That's fine. And they came with the Next Generation, and they were all obsessed with latinum, which is like their equivalent of gold.
Sure.
And they run everything like a business. They are exactly the same as the stupid race in this movie.
Sure.
And this movie just doesn't understand how to run. Well, we'll talk about all that later. But
can we just talk real quickly about, you said it's called latinum?
Latinum.
Which is just one letter difference than platinum?
I
love science fiction.
It's science fiction. It's science fiction,
It's the best.
Unobtainium. Even one of the greatest auteurs in movie cinema thought it would be okay to...
Mr. James Cameron. Sir? Is he a sir? I don't know. Man, you know what? I'll give it to him. I'll knight him right now.
So, yes, if these aliens were less human, were not just big humans, this would be a very different movie.
Not different enough, but it would be slightly better.
It's a step in the right direction because
100%.
These guys just feel like humans. And yes, when we start the movie and we start seeing them, we're all like, Orc 1, Orc 2, Orc 3. And then you're like, John Travolta with slightly strange hair.
And maybe green eyes. Sometimes they look green. Sometimes they look just totally normal. I don't know.
You think they forgot the context at different times?
I think
Is that what
so.
you're
I
saying?
think I think his eyes dried out on some days, and he's like, guys, I can't wear them. I can't. Don't worry about it. No one will notice.
So basically, we start with the man is an endangered species.
Love it. Great.
You're like, okay. And then we got Barry Pepper on the horse. There's a sexy lady. He's coming back with medicine to save his dad. Premise being his dad dies and he no longer has ties. You know, he's got to go. He wants to go and see the world and try to figure out better stuff because they don't believe that there are aliens on the planet.
Gods. Don't they call them gods all the time? Yeah, yeah.
No,
okay.
no. They're
Is that
demons.
something different? Demons, yes. No, you're right. You're right.
The gods are what left and abandoned them, and the demons came. And he rides off in his horse and tells the girl she can't come because she's a girl, and she says, I'm as good a fighter as you.
She's really bad at acting. So I was like, thank God we're leaving her behind.
She's good at wearing makeup in this future of primitive man. That's all I'll say. So almost immediately, like a spaceship flies over him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't forget the aliens invading your planet. No one would forget that.
No, not only would no one forget that, but I just, again, similar to how I felt about 10,000 BC a little bit, like he hasn't gone very far.
No.
Like that's it. If he had traveled for months, or, weeks or something, great. He maybe a day and he's just like, oh, look, alien ships. Look at all this stuff. I don't buy it. It doesn't make any sense to me. The geolocation of it all doesn't make sense. They would know.
And I mean, we're going to quickly find out that there's just like this one single base on Earth, I think, right?
It's really hard to be sure. Yeah, but it seems in Denver, right?
Yeah, Denver.
That's where Yeah.
And so the idea is we're going to be jumping around. But basically, the aliens 1,000 years ago, because it's the year 3000, 1,000 years before, they came to Earth, conquered Earth in 9 minutes.
Which
doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not.
Just so easily, just snap of the fingers.
Yeah, and yet
Earth.
these barbarians.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't jump the gun, Tony. So they invaded, and they're here to steal our natural resources, or to mine them, or to do something. with them,
it seems mine. I don't know. I was confused.
We never did
the water angle is always one that I buy into.
They're here for our water?
Yeah, like I buy into that. I don't ask me why, Dan. I'm like, yeah, maybe there's not that many planets with water, and we're mostly water. So I get that.
Sure. I mean, it makes a little more sense, but they're here mostly for gold. And
that's certainly why John's here.
I guess in the book, they spell it out that these guys are all over the gold. Gold's their thing. So they're here for the gold. And we don't ever spend any time looking for the gold exactly, but we find out fairly quickly that they've found some gold in the mountains.
Yeah, they pretty much know where it is.
Know where some is.
Sure.
There may be other gold they're trying to get, whatever. And then they want this gold, but there's uranium around it, and uranium, they're very anti-uranium. If uranium comes anywhere near their atmosphere, what they breathe, it just lights on fire.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't understand. I'm not a chemist, so I guess I can't argue it.
So
let's go back to the beginning, Dan.
Back to the beginning.
Let's just talk about, this movie opens all on Dutch angles. There isn't a single regular shot in the first 8 minutes.
Is that true? Is that true?
I'm almost positive. The whole horse racing thing, all of that is Dutch angle. Until he leaves, I'm pretty sure there's no straight shots. And I could not stop laughing. I think I laughed for the first 5 to 6 minutes of this movie the whole way through. And I was like, who the fuck made this movie? This is like someone's high school project, but they weren't good. They would have gotten a D. The teacher would have been like, well, you have to mix up your shot angles a little bit or use them purposely because this is weird.
I do this one and this one.
I switch it 180. You'll never see it coming. Just Bush League. Just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
They also do the Star Wars wipes.
Except for their wipes are a little bit different. So they're the barn doors as opposed to a full side wipe. So it's way better. It's embarrassing. It's seriously embarrassing. That's like that's an iMovie transition right there. That's how bad it is.
Do you want to talk about what? Oh God, I already forgot what his name is. His name is Johnny. Barry Pepper.
Barry Pepper, yeah.
Johnny.
Be good. No, Johnny
Boy.
Goodman.
Good boy. Johnny
Good boy.
Like Johnny Good Boy Taylor or something like that.
Last name doesn't matter, really. It's just the good boy.
Johnny. His name is Johnny. His girlfriend's name is Chrissy.
Yeah.
And his best buddy's name is Carlo. I don't understand these names. I can't process these names. They're so juvenile. It's like a 9-year-old is writing a story.
That is correct. Well, how old was Hubbard when he wrote this? Do we know? Did we look it up?
9 years old.
Nah, all right.
He was got to be in his 50s or 60s.
Oh, he's like a fully formed adult. Got it.
Do you even know who he is?
I know. Not like personally. No, I've never been to the church. I know what he's created, and I know that before that he was a science fiction writer for years and wrote a ton of shit. Yeah, that people seem to actually like. I don't know.
Nobody likes it.
Is that true? Nobody likes it? Okay.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in the last show. Yeah, he's a pulp writer, and he wrote garbage pulp that no one read. My parents, who were science fiction buffs, says when I was a kid, they had zero of his books on their shelf. Zero.
Now I kind of want to read some of it.
Yeah, I probably should because it's probably terrible.
I'll have to get it at like a used bookstore. I don't want to like buy new and support.
Yeah,
support him. Yeah.
So his first battle is with a dragon on a mini golf course.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Dan.
Yeah.
Again, he hasn't traveled very far.
Nope.
Right. And he's like, "Oh, you're the thing that we're scared of." So other people have come to this area, or is he just like guessing? I don't know. It's weird. Where are the buildings?
Oh, he gets to them eventually.
Sure. Where are the buildings around the mini golf? You're telling me that this mini golf course is in the middle of fucking nowhere? And not only that, but there's not even a building to buy tickets? Who are you just free to play at this mini golf? There's no place to buy like, I'd like one round of mini golf, $5. That doesn't exist here. There's no shack. It's just the mini golf course. And then there's nothing around for miles.
I gotta say, Tony, this is not what I was angry about. It was the lack of logistical support for the mini golf course.
Well, I am upset. I've been to a lot of mini golf places, and you need a shack to buy your stuff. Someone needs to give you a putter and a ball. Where do those go? Anyhow, I was very upset.
So he fights with the mini golf dragon, and then he realizes it's a mini golf dragon and goes, "Oh, why am I fighting with the money?" And there's like a cool mini golf penguin. And then the other two guys show up, and they're all like, "Rah, rah, give us your food or don't give us your food." And then he's like, "I'll give you food if we be friends." Then they're like, if you show me the demons, I'll give you some food." Yes. Yeah. And they're like, "Okay, we'll show you the frozen people. Then we're going to get to the demons." And like almost instantly, he's letting the other dude like lead his horse and do all this stuff. And these guys should totally bring in his ass and just kill him and take his food and take his horse.
Well, what's even weird, they were leaving. They were like, you know what? Never mind. We don't have time. We're going to go hunt. They come up, they're like, "Give us your food." And he's like, "No." And they're like, "Yeah, okay. See you later, guy." And then he's like, wait, I'll give you food. And they're like, "Okay." This scene is so stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
There is no power dynamics. We don't understand what the power dynamics is. And when you're doing cavemen or future cavemen or man animals, that's the best part of the movie, man animals. They call them man animals through the whole movie. Very funny. It's a joke, but they don't think it's a joke. It's a joke.
They take everything very seriously.
So they like become friends and they go to the mall. And then in the mall, they're like, "These are the frozen people," and it's mannequins. And I was like, okay, I like that.
Well, hold on. You like that?
I liked it.
You like that these people are so stupid that they don't know the difference between a human and a mannequin?
I can see in 1,000 years, you might not know what a mannequin is anymore.
You might not know what a mannequin is, but you're not going to assume that it was an actual human at one point and then it turned to plastic.
If there's gods and demons, yeah, maybe.
I don't buy it.
Tony
I
doesn't
don't buy it. That's all I'm saying. You're telling me none of them tried to like get with it and realized, oh, there's nothing inside.
Wait a second. Tony's first move is he sees a mannequin. He's a caveman. He sees a mannequin. He's like, I'm getting with her.
I
What?
didn't say it was my first move. I just said it's on the board.
Tony's absolutely starting with the kissing of the mannequins.
But you talk, you schmooze it up. You're like, hey, how you doing? And then they don't respond. You're like, hello. And then you go in, you're like, oh, are they, what's going on here? And they keep talking about how there's not women around.
Yeah,
so you're telling me that these barbarians never once thought to make it with a sexy mannequin lady?
That is true. So,
I've seen the movie Mannequin. People are dirty.
They start a fire, and then of course they get attacked. And they get attacked by one of the bad guys who's always in the shadows until he's not in the shadows. And he just basically they run away, and he just shoots them, and then he brings them in because that's what he's there for. He collects man animals so we can use them as slaves.
Man animals. Yeah.
Weirdest action scene in any movie. Starts out in absolute
all of
silence.
Is slow motion too.
Oh no, it's in absolute silence too.
Well, that you're
the first 2/3, absolute silence.
Yep.
It was so weird.
Well, I mean, you don't need sounds. All right, this is a silent picture.
So they throw the guys in a cage, and then they lift off in the ship. And Barry Pepper's like looking down in the cage, and he's like, "Woo!" Tony. Whenever the man animals get bent out of shape, they whoop like they're monkeys.
Yes.
Care to comment on that?
Well, what I found interesting is that I feel like the dudes in this movie should have been in Planet of the Apes. You know what I mean?
Dudes in this movie should have
So that the humans in this movie act like
they're from Planet of the Apes.
Yes. But then the humans in the Planet of the Apes movie we watched, they're just humans. They talk about them like they're animals all the time, and they're not. And I just found that very interesting.
Yeah, they act not at all animalistic in Planet of the Apes. These guys act sort of inappropriately like monkeys.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't make sense to me because they don't have monkey counterparts, right?
No.
But if that's the way that people acted in the Planet of the Apes, they're like, oh, they're kind of emulating the people that take, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, the point being is human language may degenerate and become whatever more pigeony, because that happens, languages break down, they become more, but they're never going to become more animalistic.
Right. Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't do anything. When you do that, it's because you're beginning to function as language. Go away from me. Once you get to go away from me, you're not going to go back to.
You don't revert. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you say, "Fuck off and get off of my planet." You don't say, You're like, what are you saying? You're just making this noise. Do you want me to leave the planet, or do you want me to leave the area, or do you want me to come over there and kiss your mannequin? I don't know.
The last one, please.
Kiss a mannequin. So they get their human processing center, which we see in like a little chyron. Thank you. And then Barry Pepper immediately gets out, grabs a guy's gun, shoots him with his own gun. And they're all like, oh, And then John Travolta captures him and is like, they all say, oh, he killed him with his own gun. And he's like, I don't believe you. And so he gives Barry Pepper another gun, and Barry Pepper kills another guy with the gun. And then he's like, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess. Interesting stuff. I guess that really did happen.
Now, Tony.
Yes.
If you saw a man animal, if you gave your cat a gun, and it killed someone, and then
this is a bad example. I'm pretty attached to my cat. Let's give it to a random animal that I've never met before.
Okay.
If Major Tom, my cat, started an uprising, I'm on his side. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'll fight alongside my cat and I'll be his slave.
No, but that's the whole point. Your cat gets a gun, it shoots your wife.
Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, no, hold on. Cat gets a gun, shoots the postman. You're like, I don't think.
Connie?
And then
it shoots Connie. I love Connie.
Then the postal inspector comes, and he's like, "What happened?" And you're like, "I don't know." maybe he got and so
I think my cat shot her.
and he doesn't believe it. He gives your cat a gun again, and your cat shoots your wife. Would you have second thoughts about giving your cat a gun again?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't give him another gun. I would be like, Tom, you got to calm the fuck down, bro.
Okay.
I get it. You're upset. We keep you captive, but you got to chill out.
So this will come into play later in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, God. But just like so much.
When they give him everything.
Literally, John Travolta's plan is to teach Barry Pepper everything in the universe and then be surprised when he uses it against him. That's his plan.
That's the plot of this movie. That's basically the whole plot of this movie.
So stupid.
To give a guy, teach him about armaments, and teach him about your own computers, and give him access to them freely.
Yep, you can do whatever you want because you're not going to use it against me.
And then be surprised when you have all those things used against you.
It's just the most shocking thing in the world that's how this plot goes. It's incredible.
And now's the point at which the movie gets bad. No, actually, no. The movie got bad right during that scene, because this is when, up to this point, the aliens, the cyclos as they're called,
very clever. Again, one letter difference from another word.
The cyclos go from talking like this to talking in colloquial English.
Now, so here's what I wasn't sure about. Are they talking English or are we hearing it in English?
I
genuinely don't. Okay.
We're hearing it in English.
So here's my question, Dan.
Yeah.
How come when John Travolta speaks in the native alien language, his voice is like 3 octaves lower?
Yeah.
And then when he talks in English, he's John Travolta. He's John Travolta up here. I'm John Travolta. I'm the alien. Why is it so different? It should be the same voice, just saying different things. His voice doesn't change depending on which language you're hearing it in. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
What doesn't make any sense is every bit of dialogue that comes out of his mouth or any of the other cyclos. It's the worst.
Yeah, I mean it's indecipherable English. It's so there. Yeah.
The problem with all these kind of movies is you have to adjust your language to make it seem like these are aliens. It's like people are secretaries and they're undersecretaries and there's the corporation and
John Travolta went to Harvard and he won't let you forget it. All he does for the whole movie, he talks about, I went to the academy. I was top of the class at the academy. He sounds like a guy that went to Harvard, and it's got like the Harvard. He's got a picture of himself in a Harvard sweatshirt on his desk. He's got the pinnacle. What is this called? The triangle flag. What's that called? Pinnacle. He's got the flag, Harvard flag on his desk, and he just every other sentence like, well, back at Harvard. Well, when I was at Harvard.
It's called
this guy.
Pennant.
Pennant. God damn it.
The thing. Okay, so let's talk for a second about comedy.
Yeah, let's talk about. Yeah.
What's the key to comedy?
Taking it too seriously.
No, specificity.
Oh, I see.
Jesus Christ, Tony.
Or the rule of threes. I would have answered that as well.
That's also an acceptable answer. What you're taught in comedy very early on is the more specific you are, the more interesting you can make a thing. So if he went to the academy.
Yep.
No, call it, Dartmouth, or call it something. Call it, the Academy of torture for your freaking enemies. Call it something. So there's something there for us to chew our teeth on. But everything is just like, I'm the undersecretary of ... nothing. We don't understand this culture at all because it's not a culture.
It's not, and that's it's not a fully built. It's like there's like an exoskeleton with nothing underneath, and it shows because they talk about it as if there's more to it, and there's just not.
And that's how you draw audiences in. That's why people love all these Marvel movies, is because everything ties in together and there's all these stupid Easter eggs. And so when someone says Thanos, everybody's like, oh, he just said Thanos. That means it's Thanos. Oh, Thanos.
I mean, it's world building, guys. Like you didn't build the world.
There's no world.
Speaking of specificity, I'm gonna jump all the way to the end of the movie just really quickly. Forrest Whitaker comes in at the end, and there's like that twist where he's on our side. But he hands Barry Pepper the gun, and he goes, "I fixed the issue with it. Now it works." It doesn't even. They don't even tell me what was like. He's just like, "I fixed it. I did something good." Tell me, like, I don't. It was just so. I laughed so hard. There's no specificity to it at all. I fixed the problem with it. Okay, you fucking idiot.
And that's the whole point of the movie. At one point, he's like, Kerr, who's Forrest Whitaker, he's like, "You're my assistant," and then the next time he's like, "You're the paper boy" or something. He changes.
I wrote that down. I'll find it when we get to it. But I wrote down the new title change when he's all of a sudden like, "That's why I'm the whatever, and you're just this." And I was like, well, wait, you've been training him to replace you the whole movie. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, and more importantly, he called him one thing, and then later on he says, "You've always been this." And it's like, no, he's the thing you said he was. He's not just this because you want to like be an asshole to him. You say you could demote him. I'm demoting you to Undersecretary of Kissing My Butthole. Just say something like that, and we're like, oh wow, he insulted him and he said a thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So the transition from not English to English was just killed it for me because John Travolta is just terrible as this character.
He gave me a lot of laughs.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Tony, you had fun with it because he's terrible at it.
But he's going at a 12. You know what I mean? Like JT.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it's good. Please don't construe this as me complimenting it.
He's going for it.
He is going for it, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do it, just do it, and he's doing it.
Well, if this movie had just a slightly comedic element to it, it could have benefited from that because he could have existed in that where he is the smartest guy in the room and he's like, "Ha ha, got you again."
Sure,
you've been like, okay, this guy's crazy,
but he's the dumbest person in the room constantly.
Well,
that's what I don't understand.
That's all the aliens are literally the dumbest people. They're so dumb.
How are they? They came and conquered Earth in 9 minutes, quote unquote, but they're the dumbest species to ever live. Ever. There's a moment. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are going to jump all over. So John Travolta is like showing Barry Pepper the library.
Yeah.
Remember this scene?
Supposedly he looks at the Constitution while he's there.
Supposedly.
That's what in the
collect
synopsis,
all of the things, all of the human artifacts into one room? I don't know.
Well, more importantly, in the synopsis, they say he looks at the Constitution. Did he look at the Constitution?
I mean, he was looking at a lot of old books. Who knows?
He looked at one book.
One book. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't know. But before this, John Travolta's trying to figure out their favorite food. He's like, "I don't know what humans eat." But then we get to this room and he's like, "I know all of your knowledge. I know you better than you know yourself." And I was like, "No, you don't. You don't know anything about the humans."
They don't know anything about
it. It doesn't make any sense.
No. So then we have the space bar scene. Whenever they go to the space bar, you know the movie's going to get bonus terrible. So he shakes down the bartender with some weird information, and then he's like, "Now you're no good to me. I'm going to screw you over." Ha 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 ha.
Hold on. I got to find the actual name, what he says. Okay. So basically, he's got some information on the bartender, and the bartender's like, "Hey, that's not just going to magically appear in a ledger now that you're leaving, right?" And John Travolta says this: "It won't magically appear. There will be nothing magical about it. I'm going to put it there." What the fuck kind of dialogue is that, Dan? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And if it was played in like this amusing over the top way, it would be fun, but it's like
he's playing it as if like he's like super powerful and he's twisting that knife. It was some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard in my life. I love it.
So we find out that they transport between the Cyclo homeworld and here with a big teleportation pad.
Yeah.
the big boss turns up, complains about the gravity, and then he's like, when we finish mining this planet, let's just blow it up. Of course, how are you going to finish mining the whole planet when there's only like one little tiny settlement there?
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
I mean,
that's why he's going to be there for 50 cycles.
Oh, that's true. He's going to be there for 50 cycles. And then they go to lunch, and then we find out.
Before we go to lunch, I got to talk about something they discuss in their meeting. John Travolta's like introducing him to some of the species on Earth, and they show him dogs. And they're like, this is a dog. They're smarter than man, but for some reason, the dogs weren't as useful when it came to manual labor.
No, they did say they say for some reason. He just said, but when it came,
he said and I quote, for some reason, the dogs weren't as useful when it came to manual labor. What do you mean for some reason? It's a ton of reasons. First of all, maybe they don't even have opposable thumbs. And the mass alone, we're so much stronger than they are. Like, it's the dumbest thing for some reason. We never could have expected it. But the dogs just don't do the things right. I don't know.
And there's a weird conceit through this whole movie that they have no understanding about what human beings even are, how intelligent they are.
Zero. That's
Which,
what
of
is
course,
so wild.
Doesn't make any sense because, like you say, he's been to the library. He knows what human beings can do.
They have all of the human archives at their fingertips, and he claims to have read them. I don't know. Maybe he's boistering, but he claims to have read them.
And I mean, there's a lot of reason to, talk about humans being assholes, but it's like we're a fairly functional race of beings when it comes to doing things on this stupid planet.
For sure. Yeah, we do okay.
So basically we find the big bad's like, or the big boss is like, you think you're getting transferred back to Cyclone, but you're not. You're going to stay here another 50 cycles, which I assume means years. Ha, 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 ha.
And then what happens, Dan?
And endless options to renew and renew and renew and renew.
That's what you're not talking about. The echo. They use an echo. They use vocal echoes in this movie several times. It's so
Tony,
stupid.
You know what I was going to say? I was going to say that dude literally said, and renew, and renew, and renew. So if they just echoed it, he didn't really respected it.
I would have respected the movie way more if it cuts to the guy and he's repeating it over and over.
So the sound editor did that.
I think so, because it happens a couple times in the movie.
And then as they're walking outside, we're all like, why are they doing this to him? And then we find out that he had sex with someone's
daughter. Yeah, again.
And I was like, well, at least they put the line in there and explained it. I didn't think they were going to explain it. I thought everyone's just being an asshole. So the humans are then kept in a zoo in this giant cage, and then we have like this hose of sludge, gray sludge that they eat, and they hose it into troughs, and then the one big guy's like, I'm the big guy. I eat first, and then my men eat. And then Barry Pepper and his guys are like, that's not cool, bro. Or Barry Pepper's like, that's not cool, bro.
Yeah, just Barry Pepper.
And so the other guy's like, I'll let him eat first. He looks dangerous. Does not look dangerous at all.
No, he looks like a little pipsqueak.
And Barry Pepper then sort of kicks his ass, sort of.
Yeah, it's a pretty even fight, but I think he wins. Yeah, he wins.
And then he's all like,
but nobody else joined in? Because that guy's got multiple guys with him. That's what he said.
Don't you think his, it's like if you're the boss, you're the boss. Your men work for you, right? They stand between. It's not like we have a rule of one-man combat. The one man, it's like you could set that all up. But this one.
No, it'd be a jail fight, guys.
Sets it up. And so he says, now everybody eats at the same time. I'm like, okay.
Is that even really better?
You don't
all those people.
You do not want everybody eating at the same time. You have to have some organization.
So. Yeah, make like a lunch line. Someone can be the lunch lady and slop it into somebody's hands. By the way, just disgusting. Just really gross.
I'm gonna go a little dark right here.
Okay.
There are women in here. Lots of women.
Yeah.
In primitive society.
Yeah, it's bad.
You can't cage the men and the women together. It doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Similar to the mannequins. I'm just saying.
You don't have, there are no mixed sex prisons.
Here's what I'm going to posit.
Never have been.
Let me just throw this out here. I think that these humans are asexual. How about that? Nobody's
The radiation has left them all smooth.
Took it out. Yeah, they're
That's
all
why-
just limp.
Well, that's why the mannequins.
See, that's what I'm saying. It all makes sense. If they are asexual, they can't perform.
That's why they're not trying to have sex with the mannequins when they see them.
Perfect. See, I like this ending better. This is nice.
Okay. John Travolta. What's John Travolta's character's name?
Turl?
Turl.
Okay.
Tarl or Turl, something like that.
Yeah, but then the other one is like they're too close for me, and I have a problem.
More importantly, you can buy action figures of all the characters.
What? Dan, I'm gonna go down. You keep doing the show. I'm gonna order some things off of Amazon.
They got 6 characters. They're all about $10 each plus shipping.
That's it?
They made 3 vehicles. Ship. What's the other? There's 3 things.
This is incredible.
And one of the vehicles. Ship, Hawker Harrier, the plane, and tank.
There's no tanks in this movie. I'm pretty sure.
No tanks in this movie.
They probably designed one and they're like, yeah, we'll use it at some point. Let's just release the toy. It's fine.
So this is the point at which he talks about that he found they found the gold in the mountains and it's irradiated. So he's gonna like make a fake revolt so he can get some men to send them up there. This whole thing that makes no sense.
I didn't totally understand his plan. If I'm being honest.
So then a smokestack falls on people. Barry Pepper escapes, and then they capture him.
Wait. Hold on.
What?
Let's talk about this tower thing falling, okay?
Spaceship coming in for a landing bumps into a smokestack.
Yep.
Which
then crumbles.
It would.
Crumbles. Hold on, though. It crumbles onto a crowd of people. They're just down there, and they all just duck and cover. Not a single person was harmed.
There's probably some dead people under there.
It did not look like it. They all looked like they were standing back up when Barry Pepper, and then someone's like, run, Barry Pepper, and he runs away. He doesn't have a scratch on him.
No.
Bricks fell on his head, not a scratch on
him. Let's see. What happens? Yeah, let the hair kill him. Someone shit. So he runs away.
Oh, is this the part where he gets caught by the fire? Do you remember this? He's on the run, and he runs. Is this where they're betting on him, on whether or not he can survive in their air?
Yeah, I think so.
So, okay, we need to talk about the atmosphere in this movie, because I don't totally understand it. So the aliens have to use a breathing device when they're in our atmosphere.
And we have to use a breathing device when they're in their atmosphere. Yep.
They look like the same breathing device. How do you know which one is which? You tell me nobody ever screwed it up and like one guy just walks outside, he's like, oh, fuck, I can't breathe. And then he's dead. But
you can breathe in it for a few minutes.
Okay, sure. I'm just saying they should at least have like red and blue tape. Like blue is oxygen, red is whatever the fuck they breathe. But regardless, he goes on they put him in this place and they take away his breathing device. So Barry Pepper is basically smothering, right? He goes on the run and he runs into this cave where there's fire everywhere. Mm-hmm. Fire needs oxygen to survive, yes?
Well, I mean, there might be. I think the idea is that their gas is in there too. So there's probably air in there. There's probably oxygen in there also. So it's not that,
But then why can't we breathe it?
Oh, because there's stuff in there that will kill us. If there's like if there's like a 2% of chlorine in the air,
as if he's like ingesting something bad. He's acting like he can't breathe.
Yeah.
Which is just, he's not getting enough oxygen. That's how we breathe.
That's just this movie being stupid.
I understand that.
I forgive it because it's just being stupid. So some guy shares some air with him, and then he escapes, and then Travolta's like, oh, I set it up so we can watch him, but somehow it's not just him that's escaped, but it's also Carlo and another dude. So these other two dudes have
earnestly think they've escaped. That's what's confusing, because they definitely catch Barry Pepper, and then the next scene, the three of them think they've escaped. So that doesn't make any sense, Dan.
There must have been a scene where they took Barry Pepper and his 2 buddies and then let them escape or something.
I mean, I guess so, but we probably should have seen it because it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. So they do a whole thing where they're watching them, and John Travolta's big thing is the way he's going to get the humans to do what he wants is to figure out what their favorite food is, and then he can give them their favorite food occasionally, and then they'll do exactly what he wants. And then he demises.
It's not a terrible idea. Like, the basis of the idea isn't the worst. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to work. But, like, I can see where you would make the logical leap. Here's my problem, Dan. They specifically say these guys haven't eaten in 3 days. These humans have not eaten for 3 days. And therefore, the next thing they eat will be their favorite food? No. They are eating out of desperation, you fucking idiot. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They're like, well, I haven't eaten in 3 days, so they're definitely going to pick their favorite thing. They're going to be very selective, even though maybe there's lots of options. They're going to go for their favorite thing. No.
So somehow Travolta's got cameras in the cave they're in, and he put cameras on Barry Pepper's clothes. And then the aperture of the one button opening and closing feels like it's biting him. And
what?
He figures
that doesn't make any sense.
He figures out to destroy it, and then he figures out the other cameras are around also, and he destroys them.
Yeah, and I think my favorite part is Forrest Whitaker's like, uh-oh, they figured out the button cameras. And John Travolta's like, no, they didn't. He's destroying the buttons for an entirely different reason. It's so bad. I don't understand.
This is like the 45-minute mark of the movie. This is when I just realized the character's name, Barry Pepper's character's name, is Johnny.
Full disclosure, the only reason I know is because I read the synopsis when I was done, and it says his name in the synopsis. So
they chase him down with spaceships, and then Barry Pepper's about to try and jump across, and the spaceship pulls under him, and so he lands on top of it, and they capture him, and then Forrest Whitaker's like, oh, maybe human animals can fly, and he's like, they cannot fly, and so he throws one into the
Again, something they would probably already know, having kept them in a captivity for hundreds of years.
1,000 years they've had humans.
I was giving them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they haven't kept them captive the whole time. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, and she says, I'm a senior executive and you're a lowly clerk.
Right, but that's not true. That's not accurate. Not only to what he does in the movie, but also earlier, you are grooming him to be the next you. He was taking over for you.
I almost passed over the best scene in the movie.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
So after he breaks all the cameras, John Travolta's all pissed and he's like walking out and he bangs his head against the ceiling.
Oh,
and he's all like, didn't I tell you to make them fix this?
Fix the ceiling.
Fix the ceiling. And then in the next scene, they bring Johnny and the guys back, and they're fixing the ceiling.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
That was my favorite part of the movie. You're just
it is.
I have to imagine that he bumped into that accidentally, and they put that line in there, and then they're like, "Oh, we can have him fixing the ceiling in the next scene." That makes sense.
You solved the problem, John Travolta. You figured out how to get them in the next scene.
It was such an improv solution to a problem that makes no sense, and there's no reason for it.
Fix the ceiling. You got to make it at least 3 feet higher. Unbelievable.
So at this point, he puts Johnny in the teaching machine to learn the cyclo language. And he also learns all these maths and learns everything. And then he's back in the cave and he's like on the floor.
On. Specifically, he learns about art composition. Why? Why is that in this movie?
Why would you put the brain machine on him to teach him art comprehension?
It doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would that happen?
So he's in there and he's doing the math on the floor. And he's all like, this is Euclidean geometry.
It's a triangle.
What is Euclidean geometry, Tony?
I have no idea. Some Greek guy named Euclides.
His name is Euclid, but pretty close.
I thought I would. That was close.
Would a cyclo brain machine teach you Euclidean geometry?
I wouldn't think so unless the cyclos are actually descendants of humans who then traveled to space, mutated, and came back. Maybe that's the whole thing.
The Cyclo Empire has been around in this form for 100,000 years.
They say that
in the book. In the book, they
Damn.
say that.
All right.
100,000 years.
Well, then I got no answers.
100,000 years, and they are the stupidest race in the universe.
They're just the dumbest guys you're ever gonna meet.
So they,
So good.
so his girlfriend is missing him, and so she goes to leave to search for him. The boys have so he's let them learn everything. They've accessed the computer. They've gotten into his secret files.
24/7 though. That's like there's no supervision. They're in there all the time, just themselves fucking around. I don't understand. I don't get it.
The master of cameras everywhere. No supervision.
No cameras whatsoever. Yeah.
They steal guns. They steal all his secret records. They listen to all his secret records. But of course, when he comes back and they have guns, they try and shoot him with the guns. And he's like, "Ha ha! Do you think I would leave loaded guns?"
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's a good gag, but it'd be a good gag if, like, there was a reason, like he was testing them.
Yeah, 100%. Like Die Hard.
But in addition to, like, giving them that, he's revealed all of his secrets. He just left all his secrets. He didn't, like, encode his secrets so he couldn't read them.
Yeah, 100%. No, not at all. But it should have been a Die Hard moment. You remember this moment on the roof? Bruce Willis gives Hans Gruber. I just used a human name and a character name, but gives him the gun, and then he pulls the gun on him. He clicks, he goes, "Oops, no bullets." I mean, it's great. It's great. He's tested him. Now he knows he's the bad guy. It's great. This movie, everyone's just dumb. Everyone's just like the dumbest people ever.
They're dumb until the writer wants them to act like they're smart, and then he writes them a smart thing that they did.
And then they're able to overthrow an entire alien race that took over Earth in 9 minutes with 12 people.
So they go on a field trip. That's when they go to the library. We learn that they conquered humans in 9 minutes. And he's like, "Nothing here will help you." And he like leaves him in the library.
He says, "You can read whatever you want." He's like, "Take it all in. It's not going to help you." Of course it's going to help him. Everything you're doing, John Travolta, is helping him become smarter and more deadly.
Tony, I got a question for you.
Please, yeah, please.
How does he know how to read English?
Well, those one of those things that's just inherent, and you never really lose it. It's evolution.
So they teach it. They teach it in schools.
Yeah, they teach it in schools. Yeah.
So they're out there, and there's these really nice cows, and then somebody starts shooting all the cows. Who's shooting all the cows?
Bad guy. It's either
John
or Forrest. It's one of the two. They're just shooting the cows.
So he starts shooting all the cows, and then these weird primitive guys show up, and then Johnny steals a gun, and then he basically talks to them for a while holding John Travolta at bay, and it's like, "Okay, we're going to do a revolt. I'm going to need you bros, and then you guys go hide, and I'm going to give the gun back to John Travolta and say, 'Here you go. You're the man. That's why I gave you back the gun.'" And then he's like, "I've got your girlfriend. I put an explosive collar on."
So that's where the plan really falls apart for me.
Yeah.
When he, gives up his power.
Yeah.
That's where the plan falters.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand the plan.
So he's back in the zoo cages.
Dan had a late night. Mr. Yanni Pants.
Yeah, and a drunk girl across the way was partying all night, kept waking up. He's like,
so what Dan is saying is Dan was at his neighbor's house drinking till 4 a.m.
Okay. So he's back in the cages, and he's like bummed out. And so everybody, he's all like bummed out because his plan doesn't work, even though he gave back the gun. So his plan must be working. Right?
That's what I don't understand. Like, this was part of your plan, was to give John Travolta the power back. So then what did you expect to happen?
But what we're having the sort of end of the third act crisis moment.
But it was self-motivated.
Well, he just decides to have a crisis, and then everybody's like, before you came along, we were a bunch of assholes, and now we're all cool. Yeah, you taught us to slick our hair back, and now we're cool. You taught us what sunglasses were, now we're cool. And he's like,
"Oh, they have sunglasses? I didn't notice that."
And so what does he do to re-pep himself back up?
I don't think I remember this.
He cuts off a single lock of his hair and hands it to one of the dudes.
Yeah. And it was, at first I thought they were doing the Khal Drogo moment where he cuts off his braid or whatever. Like my battle braid. But this was, I don't know, maybe it was too hot.
Cuts off
It's
one
too
little
hot.
braid
He's
of his
like,
hair.
I need to get rid of this hair.
And-
Keeps blowing in my eyes when we're riding horses.
And then everybody goes monkey whooping. Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop, 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 whoop. The monkeys are
And
angry.
they climb the cages. Yeah, it's pretty great. Pretty great. Revolution started.
Now we're going to get to another one of the greatest parts. We go back to the bar, which we know things are going to be terrible.
Great.
And there's like a hot lady there. And
Isn't that Kelly Preston?
that's his wife.
Okay. Okay.
The woman he's married to. I mean, it's John
Okay.
Travolta.
Sure.
There have been allegations as to his sexuality.
Maybe he likes them all. Yeah,
Maybe.
you can do that.
Maybe he likes them all.
Good for him.
Maybe. He occasionally acts like he likes a woman. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever.
She's got a super long tongue.
Yeah, that was what a weird scene. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is my concubine. She's got a secret skill." And then she just sticks out her tongue really long. And Forrest Whitaker is into it. He like does this weird like, I was so creeped out. It was so good.
It was funny. She's got a big forehead with tattoos on it.
Yeah. That's the only drawback,
So there's another old guy who sort of runs the planet, I guess. We haven't dealt with him again since.
Hard to
meeting.
be sure.
And they've like discovered that he's running 2 sets of books. How they discovered this, don't know. Why they haven't figured this out earlier, don't know. And they're all like, "Here, sign these blank forms so that I can have you do anything I want."
I control you. I don't know.
Wearing down Tony.
Okay, well, let me talk about 2 things. That one of them we kind of missed is when I'm just reading my notes now. I get too invested to read my notes sometimes.
Yeah.
But when John Travolta pulls out Barry Pepper's girlfriend,
Yeah.
and basically they're like, "How the fuck did you know that this is my girlfriend?" John Travolta's like, "Well, good thing you guys are good drawers," and pulls out a hand-drawn picture. And I was like, "That's your proof? That could be anybody."
More importantly, this picture we can't even see.
Well, of course they don't show us, because that would be too much. You don't want to see how bad that drawing is.
And somehow someone has captured her and checked her out to see what drawing she's carrying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is happening? It's so weird.
It's like the craziest thing ever. It's like, I mean, if this was like a real thing, where they processed them and like, we saw that they processed them, we'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's how they found the drawing." They don't do it.
Yeah, patted it down, searched her pockets, and was like, "What's this drawing? Oh, I know this guy on this drawing.
These guys
hand drawn.
They could be carrying around nuclear bombs, and the cyclos are going to be like, "What you got there? You got there a coconut?" They wouldn't even know. They're the dumbest race
anything about anything. And then Kelly Preston in this one, I don't remember exactly what she's talking about, but basically she's like, "I'm going to make you as happy as a baby on Karango," whatever that green juice is that they drink. But isn't that alcohol for them? It's always at the bar.
Well, there it is. The babies all have fetal alcohol syndrome. That's why they're so stupid. Not to make a fetal alcohol baby.
No, of course, but the babies love alcohol, apparently. They love it. That's the happiest baby you can get, is one that's hammered out of its mind at all times. I just found that very strange.
Oh, Jesus. Tony.
Yes.
Talk about the rubber hands.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to say, I don't know how many fingers they have, because I am convinced, Dan, I'm so convinced that sometimes John has 6 fingers and sometimes he has 5. I can't prove it because I don't want to rewatch the movie. But at one point I wrote down that they have 6 fingers. And then later I was like, wait, he has 5 fingers. So I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it changed. I just want to throw that out there. I hope someone who knows more than me can either confirm or deny if that's true. But I'm pretty sure it happened.
And how was the hand makeup application for the movie? Would you say?
I would say it's pretty bad. They can't move their fingers, so every time John wants to like point at something, he uses the whole hand. And then he uses his whole hand. And then at one point he's holding his gun, but he can't put his fingers through the grip, so it's like just on the sides of it. Yeah,
they just sort of hold that's how they hold a gun. I'm firing the gun.
Right.
How do we know you're firing it? Because I'm shaking my hand.
Because I'm moving my hand. Yeah. Oh, it's good. So I'd say pretty good.
They're so
Pretty good
terrible.
hand
They're
stuff.
just these plastic things with pointy nails.
And I don't know why.
they just-
While we're talking about prosthetics on the people, what's going on with the boots, Dan?
Well, they wanted to look, because they're supposed to be like 9 feet tall.
But why are the boots so wide? It's like
Oh,
they're like
so you don't
regular
fall
shoes
over.
and then like so wide.
So you don't fall over.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're gonna
It's a
walk around
balance issue.
if you're gonna walk around in big boots like that, you don't want thin boots. You're gonna be like breaking your ankles.
I guess you're right. I've never done it.
It's terrible. So Barry Pepper learns to fly, and then they go out to be.
Oh wait, hold on! Don't skate over like that's a normal thing, Dan. The next phase in John Travolta's plan is to teach him how to fly away. Here's how to fly all of our airplane devices. Don't use it to escape, but you can fly. That doesn't make any sense.
And what does he say after that when he gives him a plane to fly around in?
I have no idea. What does he say?
I'm going to be watching. He shows him a picture and says, I'm going to be watching.
That's right.
And then he goes on to never watch Barry
Never look
Pepper.
at it again.
Barry Pepper flies around the world. He flies to
to
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C., yes. I was like, what is the flight plan? How far away is that? That's pretty far from Denver. How is nobody knowing that they are gone?
And fuel consumption, you wouldn't give him like the biggest tanks ever if they could just fly anywhere in the world.
Oh, fuck. It's so good.
So crazy. So basically, their whole plan is instead of mining the gold, Barry Pepper, when he was doing his research, found out about Fort Knox, and there's all the gold in Fort Knox, and he's just going to go get that gold and bring it back.
Now, why did nobody else find out about Fort Knox? Because apparently they say they've read the books. John Travolta tells me he's read the books. He should know that Fort Knox exists.
Maybe
No?
we're analyzing this movie incorrectly, and maybe the truth is he's always lying. He didn't go to that school. Could be bullshit.
It could. In fact, the way that he professes it, you're right. It seems like he's lying. Like if I tell you what school I went to 120 times a day, you probably don't think I went there.
We should probably treat him as an unreliable narrator. And you know, when he says, I'm watching you, and he shows him the picture, he probably just drew that picture in crayon.
It's another hand-drawn picture, but it was good. So there you go.
He made her do it.
Hey, you're a good artist. Can you draw this landscape for me? You're right. No, you're right. He's just a big fat liar.
So they comes back with the first load of gold after 14 days. And okay, hold on. We got to do. So while they're looking around, they find a military base with Hawker Harriers and a training
a flight simulator.
And then basically they have cavemen go in a flight simulator. And how many days do they have to learn to fly, Tony?
Wasn't it like 3 or 4 or something?
They had a total of 7 days between finding it and having to enact the plan where they learned to fly Hawker.
Right. Well, listen, it's super easy to fly. I don't know if you've ever done it, Dan. So easy. It's basically instinctual at this point. Here's my problem with this situation.
Yeah.
How the fuck does this place have electricity? I don't understand.
Well, the other thing is nuclear bombs are still good. The simulator's good. The planes are good. The munitions are good.
Fuel. They must have fuel because it's not like they filled it up.
How long has it been since anyone's touched this stuff?
1,000 years minimum.
1,000 years. Nothing is degraded. Nothing.
Nothing at all. It's pristine. It's beautiful.
Just like in Planet of the Apes.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Oh, God. It's unbelievable. That flight simulator, by the way, works perfectly. So, great stuff.
Well, more importantly, these fucking cavemen able to master it in a few days.
Not only master, but they know how to turn it on. Like, they understand how to turn it on, set it up. Like, because I don't think you just turn it on and fly. I feel like you have to put in stuff. I don't know. It's bizarre.
On, off button. On. Teach me the thing.
Fly. It's great.
Oh, God. I still have 2.5 pages left. So, he takes the gold Fort Knox gold back, and he's all like, why is this gold in bars? And he's all like, well, and then Travolta says, I guess you must have smelted it. Ha ha, now I'm giving
Well,
you
he said-
less time for
Yeah,
the
he
next
says,
load.
since you've had enough time to smelt it into gold, I'll expect it in 7 days or something like that. It's unbelievable.
I didn't think anyone could turn the Dan Goodsell, just give us that one line to explain what is happening on its head, where you
Yeah,
just...
they got you good, Dan. Here's the line. How do you feel about it, you idiot?
I feel like I'm the idiot for positing that this is an acceptable way to make movies. Okay, so
God.
they're gonna blow up the dome and destroy the home planet. There it is.
I don't understand the plan, but like I'm on board with it. I don't care.
Now, Tony, what's the big line that all the cavemen use about how easy things are going to be?
Oh, they say a bangarang.
No, they say piece of cake.
Oh, so here's the thing. I only remember hearing that one time in the movie, and I wrote it down. It's 3 times. Okay. When he's up in the thing and he's about to blow the thing up, that's the only time I noticed anyone say piece of cake. And I was like, why the fuck would he say piece of cake?
There's a couple other times before that where they say piece of cake. And you're just like, why would anyone say piece of cake? Because these guys have never had cake.
They don't even know what cake is. They know what mush is. They should be like, piece of mush. Easy peasy. I don't know.
So let's see. Kerr turns Kerr against him.
Yeah, John Travolta has like a confrontation with Forrest Whitaker.
They have the discs and they turn Kerr against Whitaker. They turn Kerr against Travolta, and then Travolta is trying to get Kerr to tell him who he gave the information to, and then he's like, oh, it couldn't have been someone in the bar. And he reaches into a box, and there's the bartender's head in the same room.
I mean, it's had to have been there the whole time because he didn't come in carrying a box. I have questions, and this will come up twice. We don't have to talk about it the second time, obviously.
Sure.
Do they not have blood? Because this guy's severed head, is clean.
I don't think the production could afford blood.
Okay, but do the aliens have blood? Because they showed John Travolta getting his fucking arm cut off.
Sand.
Sand just pours out of his arm.
I don't know.
They show, like, Forrest Whitaker gets his hand blown off, and they just show it the whole time. He's just holding it. No blood, no pain. He's just like, oh, man, you shot my hand. And then John Travolta loses his arm. Again, no reaction, no blood. He's just like, I don't have an arm anymore. Weird. It's so bizarre to me.
So we set up that they can't do something because then the alarm happens, so they got to sort of do everything in concert at once. They arm everybody, and then it's going okay until it stops going okay, and then the airplanes show up. I like the moment where the airplane showed up. I was like, okay, that's good.
I don't even remember that. What happened?
They sort of, the airplanes, the Harriers fly in, and they're like,
oh, sure.
Yay!
Do you want to talk about how they're talking on walkie-talkies for some reason? From, 1984? They're not even like new walkie-talkies.
You mean they're talking on Stranger Things? As opposed to like going to the military supply store and buying some walkie-talkies? Right. No, it's true. They are talking, it is like Stranger Things a little bit.
It's so weird.
And there's a big air battle. And then they are going to teleport the bomb, and they're going to blow the dome, and the guys are not blowing the dome, and then he blows the dome, and then he has to crash the ship into the dome.
Yeah, I honestly don't totally understand the plan, because there's something to do with teleportation as well, right?
They got to teleport the bomb to the bad guy's home.
Okay.
The bad guys are going to teleport in the stuff that's going to destroy all the humans. And they also have an army standing there waiting, ready to go?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little confused. But the dome doesn't, it just cracks. It doesn't shatter like they wanted. So he drives into it backwards?
Yeah, he crashes into it.
And he's in reverse.
No, he's
hanging down.
Yeah, because you're in the front of the ship, and he crashes the front of the ship in down.
Wait, so he's outside of the dome?
He's
I
inside
thought
the
he
dome.
was in the dome.
He's inside the dome.
So then he would be looking, if he drove into the dome from the inside.
No, he's outside. He's outside the dome.
Looking out.
He's outside the dome. Isn't he
I don't
outside the
know.
dome? How did he get outside the dome?
Dan, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
He's outside the dome, and then he flies into the top of the dome.
Okay, I'll listen. I'll buy it. It was weird. And then half of his ship falls off.
Yeah.
Just the top half of his ship just falls off.
He's all like, whoa, it's a long way. And then he's got all these bombs on there. And so he's like, I'm going to count to 3 and then blow the bombs. Then he shoots the bombs.
With what?
I think he had
a giant bazooka.
Oh, yeah, he had a bazooka, didn't he?
What the fuck?
Just in case. Luckily, that bazooka didn't fall out.
He strapped it in behind him just in case.
Yeah.
So bizarre. This is the weirdest. It was the weirdest sequence I've ever seen in my life.
They should have done like a funny bit where there's like a, he's got to hit a little lever over there and he has to toss a shoe and the shoe goes boop, boop, boop.
I love it.
And then he has like toss another thing. And then he's like down to his last thing, which is like, like a can of soda pop. And he's sweating, my last soda.
Sweat's dripping off into the abyss below.
Yes. He has to catch the sweat, try and use that as a projectile. That's the movie we want to see.
That's it, guys. Rewrite it.
So he does that, and then it blows up, and then everything starts falling down in, and this is when everyone would die.
Yeah, because of the shards of glass that would pierce all of their bodies.
And hitting these broken buildings that are in there. It's a complete mess, but of course, a bunch of people survive.
Fine. Yeah, it's pretty much fine.
They teleport. The one guy teleports mission. He gets to the cycle planet, hits the atomic bomb, and the planet blows up. I like the planet exploding visuals. That was nice.
And I guess it must have been like a nuclear bomb because then that's their atmosphere exploded. Okay,
yeah, that's the idea.
It took me a while to get that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, wow, that's a big bomb that just took a whole planet out. But
yeah, because they set up that the atmosphere, they could have probably just thrown like one piece of uranium in there, and the atmosphere would have caught on fire.
And they could have just like teleported just their uranium then, right?
Who knows?
As opposed to a human going and sacrificing his life.
You'd think so.
I don't know.
And then we have this sweeping, sad, happy, triumphant music. Then we imprison John Travolta in Fort Knox, so he has to look at all the gold.
Hold on, though, because I didn't understand. I don't know how we imprisoned him. He was fine. He was just standing there, and then the next scene, he's in jail.
Yeah, we caught it.
We didn't even take him.
We won.
Did we? Did we win?
We won.
All right. We won.
We brought the... Oh, because... Wait a second. He should be dead, shouldn't he?
He should be dead, but he's not. So...
Because he doesn't have his atmosphere thing, but he probably had one nearby. Doesn't. He had one nearby, probably.
But he doesn't. He's not wearing it in the jail cell,
isn't he?
No, nobody has it on in the last scene. I swear to God. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure no one was wearing it in the final scene.
And then Kerr is now working with them, and they're gonna go out and conquer the galaxy or do something.
And his reasoning was like, "They made me the king of the Cyclos" or some shit like that. And I was like, "But." You might be the only one left.
But he's right? Gotta remember, he is a moron.
You gotta remember, he's the dumbest species on Earth. So.
He's the dumbest one of the dumbest species on Earth.
he's the worst of the pack. All right. Oh, what a movie.
But I have to say, John Travolta was by far the worst part of this movie, in my opinion.
He was my favorite part of the movie because he's the most entertaining.
He's so terrible.
Here's what I'll say, because I love John Travolta, and I think he never half-asses it. Yeah. You know what I mean? He dives in head first. Swing, sometimes you miss. This was a miss, but at least he still tried. And I love him. And everybody that works with him is like, he's the sweetest guy on earth. So, so I I'm all for it. And it was hilarious. It was very funny to me the whole time.
Yeah. This movie was terrible. It's considered a terrible movie really because it is terrible. But once again, it's another one of those, it's one you could watch and make so much fun of.
Yeah, you get some enjoyment out of how terrible it is.
Yeah,
that's the best kind of bad movie there is.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely some room for this movie to be more in the classification of a movie that should be constantly be made fun of. as opposed to
Yeah,
the worst.
there should be
movie ever.
midnight showings of this where they serve alcohol, and I think it could be a good time.
Yeah, because once again, you don't hate the filmmakers for this one. You just are like, why? What is happening? And there are a number of very funny scenes.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the filmmakers, let's do just a quick talk, because I also watched stuff, an interview with the writer.
Oh, yeah.
Who never wrote another movie, basically.
Yeah.
He worked in the business for 4 years after this, trying to get things made. Nothing came of it, and he quit, and now he teaches.
What does he teach?
He teaches writing.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's at a university. I can't remember exactly what, but he talks about his teaching, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm done with you. He didn't handle it well. Like this, he had four movies that got greenlit and then didn't get released before this. And so this was basically his shot. This was his one shot to like make a movie that, people wanted to see. And it was so bad and people blamed him, but there were a lot of changes. Like, this is not the movie he wrote. There was a ton of changes after he turned it in, and people blamed him for it. And I was like, that's tough. And he's not doing great. He seems his life did not go the way that he wanted, which was very sad. But then the director, on the other hand, just staunchly defends the film. And I'm like, good for him. Stick to your guns, buddy. I mean, who cares if you're absolutely wrong about everything?
Don't stick to your guns.
Listen to the critics. My fear.
The critics are right.
This is no, I'm not going to say that at all. But I will say, to have no recognition of how bad it turned out, that's my biggest fear, is that I think I'm fucking good at shit, but in reality, I'm terrible. And I worry about it. I genuinely do.
See, those are the big life questions, right?
Yeah.
You and I think we're big funny men. We do a lot of shit. And, don't necessarily get a lot of press or whatever you want to say.
Don't necessarily. We get nothing. Nobody agrees with us. Everyone thinks we're terrible. And maybe we are. That's what I'm saying. Well, you're not. You're great.
Well, I mean, I look, it's like on Instagram, I have like 3,000 followers. I've had that same 3,000 followers probably for the past 5 years. Never gone anywhere, done anything. And then I look at other people whose stuff is,
terrible. It's awful.
And then they'll have 20,000, 100,000, 500,000. And you're always like, is it just me that I'm out of step? And, I'm producing stuff.
I am this guy. I am the director of this movie. I think I'm making great stuff. And everyone's like, you're terrible, bro. We keep trying to tell you you're terrible and you're not listening.
Well,
that's what's happening.
I guess my point to that always is, do you actually get negative feedback? Like, this guy puts out this movie and everybody gives him negative feedback.
I get a lot of thumbs downs on the YouTube, Stan.
Oh, you get those thumbs down because you're making fun of something that they love.
I love it too. That's the thing.
But
it doesn't matter. Anyhow, that's my fear in life. Dude. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that there's a danger point when you're doing parody, because some people do not like to see parodies of things that they love, and I think the horror people are not a group of people that like to have fun poked at them.
You don't want to trifle with them.
No, because you're like your song, your Frozen song, right?
Yeah,
that got a bunch of views, right?
Not as many as I would have liked.
No, but I mean, did it get? Were there?
Fine.
Was it 50% thumbs down, or was it? You got a resounding thumbs up on that one, right?
No, on the Wordle one.
No, not on the Wordle
one. Actually.
Oh, what about the Wordle one? The Wordle one.
The Wordle one did not do well. That one got a lot of thumbs downs.
The Wordle one got thumbs down, really?
The Wordle one got thumbs downs.
Really?
The one that didn't was my Mulan video.
The Mulan, that's the one.
Yeah, the food one. That one did really well.
Yeah.
That one did well. Didn't translate to any of my other videos doing well. But
no.
Did well.
And I mean, for whatever with the algorithms at this point, it's like, it's very hard. Going viral just gets harder and harder every day. And even when you do go viral, it doesn't even necessarily I mean, I've seen it with people that like post something that gets 100,000 likes on Instagram, and it's like then nobody even follows them. It's very strange. A lot of weird stuff like that.
That's
me, right
you.
Here. You don't ever follow
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
I have 500 people that follow me. That's not very many.
No.
You've got 3,000.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot either, but it's more than 500. I'll tell you that.
So now's the point at which we talk about something we liked. We just started The Sandman last night.
Ooh, how was it?
It was good. Shannon was a little bored by episode 1. It's very, very much setting up the whole what's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from that. But visually amazing, and just super interesting. It's finally here.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Very excited about that.
All right, I love it. I'm gonna watch it.
What do you got for us, Tony?
Well, this is a little different, a little out there, but Fujinon, I don't know if you know Fujinon. It's they make lenses. They do a lot of things, but specifically they made lenses that were used on Top Gun Maverick.
Wow.
And they released some behind the scenes like mini docs about the use of their lenses on the planes and how they did all the aerial cinematography. It's like a 20-minute watch. It blew my fucking mind.
Wow.
The stuff that they did is incredible. It's unbelievable. They put them on like some of these stealth planes, these fast planes, and there's flying so close to. It's so dangerous what they did.
So
Everything terrifying. They did is so dangerous. And the guy who was running the camera from the plane is like, because of like all of the G's, I was shaking so bad that I wasn't even sure if I was getting the shots. And I was like, oh my God, dude, that's so intense. But if you can find it on YouTube, it was brilliant. It's a brilliant little watch. I'm sure it'll be on the Blu-ray when it comes out as special features as well. But it was really cool. Cool to watch.
Cool. Well, for next week,
cool.
We're gonna stay in the same genre that we're in this week.
Are we gonna rewatch Zardoz?
Yeah. At what point do we actually go back and rewatch movies for this?
At some point we will.
We will never do that. The trauma is. If you said, "Dan, we're watching Battlefield Earth again in 5 years," I'd be like, "Guess what, Tony? I'm not.
No, we're not. I quit the podcast.
I'm just pulling out my old notes and I'm just going to go through them again because they're still completely correct." No, we're going to go to the other big Scientology movie.
Did I know there was another one?
You didn't know there was another one?
I don't know.
Where Battlefield Earth really doesn't dig deep into the Scientological sort of depths. This movie has the underpinnings of the Scientology built into it.
Really?
And when you watch it from that standpoint, it is painful. I've seen this movie, and it is a terrible movie.
Okay.
It is called After Earth.
Is this the Will Smith one? Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Will and Jaden Smith starring, and the whole thing is about like trying to control yourself to have power over yourself.
Yeah, you control your fear or something like that.
It's super weird, and the way they weave it into the story is just really terrible. And Jaden Smith is really terrible.
I saw this as per usual. I saw this opening night at midnight, and I fell asleep.
Good.
So I've never seen the whole movie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan in the director's seat, making a thing happen.
Is there a Shyamalan twist? Because I don't know. I didn't finish it. There's not, is there? That's how bad this movie is.
So.
They didn't even let M. Night do his patented M. Night twist.
And I was just doing a little quick reading on it. When does this movie take place? 1,000 years after humans have left Earth.
So the year 3000. A saga of the year 3000. We did it.
I mean, I think we stayed on Earth a little longer than 2000, but once again, it's 1,000 years.
That's like the thing. It's just, let's just go 1,000 years. Keep it round number, you know?
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. 1,000 years.
I love it.
Oh, man. And
all right, Will, we're coming at you.
Yeah, we all left Earth to go to this other planet. Then they crash land on Earth, and then they're going to try to get off there. But everything on Earth's trying to kill them. Just like
I
the
mean, it's cool that there's
cycles.
still stuff on Earth. You know, that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Good
Yeah,
job, Earth,
like
Mother
everyone.
Nature.
It's so stupid. Such a bunch of morons.
I'm excited.
So if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, subscribe, tell your friends, blog post about it, go to Reddit. Don't know what Reddit is, but you can go there.
We don't know how to use Reddit, but people are on it, so go for it.
And we'll be back next week talking about After Earth. A-E, A-E, A-E,
Goodbye, everybody!
Hey, watch him!